I'm Coviness Mangwe. I'm a psychotherapist and a general counselor. I'm the founder of Heart and Soul Transformational Therapy Center.
Okay.
HASTIC is specialized in human health and social work activities for mental health, mental retardation, and substance abuse. Our main focus is on mental health, disability, and the well being of people. HASTIC was established in 2019 June by two young stars or youth, so to say, who joined hands to form the organization when they saw that there is a great need in the community, most especially when it comes to mental health illnesses and the disability stigma which is around. Yeah, so then we also give some guidance and therapy services to people who might want our services, like mental health therapy, therapy, all those things.
Okay. And how long have you been doing this now?
For 4 years now.
Ah, okay. What made you get into this field?
Um, there was a time I was depressed. You know,
Okay.
these relationships,
Yeah.
someone just plays tricks on you. Yeah, there was a time I was depressed for 3 good years, 3 4 good years. So I never
Oh,
received proper help I could get.
yeah.
Yeah, and there was a time I went to seek for some therapy services at a named school,
Yeah.
though I couldn't receive what I wanted to receive. And from that time, that was somewhere 2016. That's what
Okay.
even moved me to say there are a lot of people who are facing such kind of issues. And most of them, they don't know where to go to. Because if you look at most of the government clinics or hospitals,
Yeah.
they only talk about AIDS and gender based violence. They neglect the mental health part,
Yeah,
including
that's true.
disabilities. So that's what moved me to start advocating. I started just advocating on Facebook. Yeah, though I named the name of the organization Heart and Soul Transformational Therapy Center. That
Yeah.
was in 2019. Up to this time around, it's well registered by the government.
Nice. So, with regard into mental health, what exactly is mental health? How can we define it or identify this as a mental health problem?
All right. So mental health is a state of well-being where someone's feelings, emotions, reactions, thoughts are just okay, and someone is able to cope or function in a given environment. You know, if I'm able to relate with my environment, if I'm able to communicate to people, with good feelings or emotions, so to say, that's the mental health part. Now, there's a difference between mental health and mental health illnesses. So,
Okay.
as we are trying to advocate to people out there, we are trying to help them to have a good mental health. You know,
Yes.
one can have mental health, but if they don't focus much on it, they can end up having these mental health illnesses. So, mental health illnesses is a condition or a disorder, so to say, where someone's feelings, emotions, thoughts, or reactions they've been affected. This is why you see someone failing to cope with the environment, they start losing concentration, they start isolating themselves, someone becomes too moody, all those
Yeah.
things because their mental health is affected.
Interesting. So, nowadays, this is when we getting to understand what mental health is and how it's affecting people, especially the youths. Would you say this mental health problem started recently, or it's actually been there for so long and people have actually not really considered it as an illness or a disorder?
These mental health illnesses have been there, from way back.
Okay.
It's only that there were not much of the awareness being raised. So this time around, when people talk about mental health, To others, it's news. Some they think maybe it's an animal, some they think maybe it could be these new diseases which are coming, like coronavirus. Maybe there's just this new disease which has come, mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but to other people, they have that awareness. Then this is when they say that no, this is a growing problem. But telling you the truth, issues to do with mental health illnesses have been there, and they are just a public health concern in Zambia because a lot of people are dying.
A lot, yeah.
They writing the exams, the grade nines, they finish. By next year, as the results will be coming out, you are going to see many of them will be dying,
Yeah, that's
because
true.
of the results. So this issue has been there for a long period of time. And I love the fact that at least a good number of people are coming to know that this is a problem. Because if you look at our nation Zambia, many people they focus much on the physical part. The physical, the spiritual part, this go deeper things, they
Yeah.
focus much on them. But
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the well-being of someone, it involves the physical part, the mental health part, the social health part, including the spiritual part. So neglecting one or two of these things, meaning that one is not fully functioning. So these things, they need each other. They need to marry each other for one to fully function. If one focuses much on the physical part, neglecting the mental health part, the physical part again will be affected. Or if one focuses much on the mental health part, neglecting the physical part, the physical part will be affected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that. So, like, how can you identify that I have or someone has a mental health situation?
All right, so on this one, it's different depending with individuals.
Okay.
Mental illnesses vary from one individual to another. And if
Mm-hmm.
you look at mental illnesses, there are different types of mental illnesses. There
Yeah.
is depression, there is anxiety disorders, there is anger disorders, post-traumatic. So the symptoms they differ. So depending with one individual, the symptoms which they portray, that's when we can say that at least maybe this one is having this type of a mental illness. And sometimes you can have two people with depression, but the way they'll
Oh,
be affected by it and the symptoms they are going to show, they'll
bit
totally
different.
be different. Like depression,
Yeah.
others they'll have some mood, they won't feel like talking to people,
Yeah.
intense sadness. Someone will just start isolating themselves. To some people, they start drinking, others crying. But to others, you find them going for work. They are smiling, they are
Yeah.
dancing, but it's affecting them inside. So it's totally different. This is why many people need to have this awareness, because having someone smiling, it doesn't mean that they're okay inside.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
people need
true.
much of the awareness.
So, is it possible, like, on my own, I can be able to identify, or I need a professional to tell me that what I have is actually a mental health problem?
Uh, sometimes, yeah, one can be able to tell, more especially when it comes to if maybe one has got anger issues,
Mm-hmm.
aggressiveness, that reckless behaviors, it
Yeah.
could be irritability. But there are those mental health illnesses, let's say, for example, like post traumatic stress disorder. You
Yes.
just find yourself having nightmares, having these flashbacks about your past. There are some people that start saying, I think Mananiloa, or maybe there's just someone who is trying to bewitch me, not
Yes.
necessarily knowing that they're having post traumatic stress disorder because of the past experiences. So there are those symptoms, like simple symptoms, which someone on their own they can be able to tell. But there are those ones where someone at least they need help
Oh, yeah.
from a
Mm-hmm.
person to tell them that this is this type of a disorder after they diagnose them.
So, like, different diseases come with have a certain point. So, like with
Yes.
mental health, what exactly triggers this problem to come about? Does it just happen naturally, or some events that can cause a human being to go through a mental health situation?
All right. There are a number of causes or triggers, so to say.
Okay.
You know, yeah, some people, the trigger it could be people, being around people.
Oh,
There are
okay.
different personalities,
Yeah.
different types of personalities. There are those people who are introverts, like the melancholic and
Yes.
the phlegmatic, always indoors. So, to those people, once they find themselves in an environment where there is a lot of people, they start having some panicking, having these anxiety disorders. So,
Yes.
if at all they keep on being found at such kind of places, they can find themselves into having these mental health illnesses. It means that that environment is a trigger to them. Some people, it
Mm-hmm.
they are having, they can
Yeah.
trigger them to have these mental health illnesses. Whereby you are having friends who drink, then you start drinking. When someone has been drinking carelessly, it also leads them to these mental health illnesses like anger disorders, reckless behaviors,
Yes.
those. Then to others, a trigger it could be maybe some relationships. You are in
Okay.
a relationship, then your partner is not treating you nicely. It can trigger one, you know, to start thinking a lot, to having these mental health illnesses. So there are a number of triggers, you know,
That causes
which
it.
normally.
Okay. So, with the number of triggers that you've mentioned, then I realize that I have a mental health problem. Where exactly, or what exactly do I need to do? Let's say I have depression, which we see nowadays that is common. What's the first thing I need to do? Can I resolve it on my own, or do I need external help?
There are some people who can manage to heal from it by themselves. People are gifted differently, and people can handle situations differently.
Okay.
Yeah, so there are some first aids which someone can be able to use for them to be able to cope. For example, to say you're having depression, and the trigger which you have is being around people, meaning that you try to adjust, to make some amends, to stop being found around those people. If one
Okay.
knows to say my trigger is me being found with these people with such kind of a behavior, and they force me to start drinking, they force me to start doing ABCD, one
Yeah.
needs to avoid those tempting places, you know. And not just that, one is supposed to make some daily affirmations. My mental health is my priority. One comes up with some values or some core values.
Okay.
I matter most, I'm worthy. So those daily affirmations, they'll be able to help one with healing with their mental health. Because if you look at most people who are having these mental health illnesses, they have a problem with their self esteem, their self confidence. They hate who they see in the mirror. They can't stand. So, by one writing those daily affirmations, coming up with some core values, it
Yeah.
can help on self esteem. Then, once someone's self esteem is boosted, including their mental health, it will start getting boosted in such kind of a way. And then, if at all one feels like I've tried this option, I've tried this,
Mm-hmm.
it, they need now, to take the approach to talk to a loved one. They can see a professional. They'll be there to helping them with their mental health illness.
Okay. So when it comes to a professional, people have got this narrative saying, no, these people are expensive, so it's better you handle it on your own. Is that factual, or it's just us who get there because they are known?
That we are expensive.
Yeah, to get help from you people.
All right. So when people are accessing these services, one, they need to look at where they need to access the services from.
Okay.
Yeah. We have private institutions, we've got government institutions, then we also have these organizations.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so if someone says they want to access maybe therapy services, for example, they try to go at Great North Rehab Center there.
Yeah.
Definitely one will be asked to pay for it because that's a private institution because it's all about making profit at the end of it all.
Yeah. That's true.
When they go at government hospitals, it's all for free. Then with most of these NGOs,
Oh,
they
it's
are
free in government.
non-profit organizations. They don't charge for therapy. Some organizations they only ask someone to subscribe for therapy, since therapy doesn't take a day. And this subscription fee, it's not like someone is paying.
Okay.
You're just subscribing, to receiving this therapy, which will take place for maybe for 3 months, for 6 months, it depends. And
Mm-hmm.
what is that issues to do with mental health, they shouldn't be made to be a luxury. I've seen a lot of people making money out of, mental health illnesses, someone trying
Okay.
to make money out of it.
Yes.
It's supposed to be like that. If it means maybe one charging, they need to reduce the prices to that level where even someone from a lower class family they can be
Can
able to
come.
access.
So, according to you, which one would you recommend would be the best? Coming to you guys, the professionals, or the first try to handle it alone, then come to you if they see it's too much for them.
The best thing they can do is to seek for professional help. Sometimes we can tell someone, no, try to handle it by your own. What if maybe they don't have the skills within them, like the skill of resilience, being able
Mm-hmm.
to bounce back, you know, even when one is having such kind of challenges. Only a
Yeah.
few need this skill. So if at all one doesn't have this awareness within themselves, they don't need to hesitate by trying to sorting it out by themselves. They need to seek for professional help, in early stages. And if you look at most of these mental illnesses, one can be able to tell, within 3 weeks, you're always sad. Maybe today my boyfriend has injured me or has
Yeah.
left me. I keep on crying about it. The next day, I keep on crying about it. 1 week down the line, I stop eating. I stop talking to people. I need to have that self realization. Say something is wrong. I need to seek for professional help because I never used to act like this. Now that this thing has happened to me, why am I behaving in such kind of a
Okay.
manner?
Yeah.
One, to seek for therapy. Now, many people, they would rather try now to use alcohol to heal. They would rather try to use now, maybe sleeping around, fighting to be able to cope with the problem which they have. Some they even use masturbation, watching pornography to be able to heal.
Oh,
By the time we now consider to seek therapy, they'll have a lot of disorders or illnesses within them, like depression. Then they'll come about sex addiction now. One will now have post-traumatic stress disorder. Someone will now have maybe anxiety disorders, those my panic attacks.
yeah.
Means that when getting therapy, we'll have to handle all these illnesses just one person. So the best thing people need to do is that once they notice that something is wrong, they've stopped functioning like they used to, they need to rush for therapy. So that if it means someone getting treated, the treatment shouldn't be delayed.
You mentioned that others get to have a lot of sex and masturbation. So that's also a sign of that there's a problem going on in your mind.
Exactly. You
Mm.
know, masturbate for different reasons. People
Yeah.
watch porn for different reasons. But in this case, since we are looking at mental health, to
Yes.
some people, they would say, for me to feel better, I use pornography, I use masturbation as a coping skill. Yes, it is a coping skill, but in this case, it is a destructive, a bad coping skill. Because
Mhm.
masturbation on itself, even when one doesn't have a mental health illness, let me tell you this.
Mm-hmm.
I just There's this person who just starts, masturbating, watching pornography. There are actually levels of,
Oh,
betting, watching pornography. Yes,
okay.
from level 1 up to level 7. One will start maybe this week, maybe after some months. Then, as they keep on doing it, maybe one will be doing it maybe 3 times a week, maybe 10 times a day. So,
Yes.
by so doing, guilty part which comes after doing it, you feel guilty, but I'm a Christian. Why am I doing these things?
Mm-hmm.
It will start affecting someone's mental health. You see? And the same masturbation, the same watching pornography, it has led a lot of people to having mental health illnesses, and others they'll decide because of masturbation, watching pornography, and people don't have this awareness.
That's very interesting.
Mm.
Okay. So let's say now, the external people like me, the outside, I get to notice maybe my relative or my friend is going through a mental health problem. How can I
Yes.
be of help to that individual? Because
All
many
right. So
times we see our friends or our family members going through something, and we don't do anything until it's too late and said, "Oh yeah, I actually noticed, but I don't know. I thought things are going to be okay." So how can we help such people?
all right. So when it comes to talking to people, people are different, and these
Mm-hmm.
mental health illness are different. Some people, you can come out like you want to help them, but the kind of words you're going to use, they're going to trigger them.
Okay.
Some will just respond to you rudely. So as people want to try to help these people to heal, they
Yeah,
need to look at certain things. You know, when one is trying to offer help to someone, they need to look at, does this person need a solution focused help? Do they need solutions? Or maybe do they need an understanding focused help? Or maybe a listening? There are some people they'll just want you to listen to them. Once you listen, they feel better, they get better.
that's true.
Others want someone to understand them. I'm going through this, my partner left me. Then you're there, oh, I understand how you're feeling. It's not easy. Those things. One will
Yeah.
feel better.
Mm-hmm.
But to others, they would need solutions. So if at all I approach someone who needs solutions, then I approach to them like I want to listen to them. We won't um, we won't have that peace with each other. This is why, people need to ask, how do you want me to help you? Do you want me to listen to you? Or maybe just want me to understand your problem? Or maybe you want me to offer you help? Depending with what someone is going to say on the first time you approach that person, that's what you take. Then after some time now, that's when now one will start building up. Because to some people they believe nothing in this therapy thing.
Yeah, that's true.
They don't believe in it. So if at all you can just say no, since you're having this problem, you need a mental health therapy. Then one will start saying, you know, how does this person view me? Do I look maybe I'm mad? That's what people will take it. So the approach matters. Before someone recommends therapy, supposed to do it. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. You mentioned earlier that you also had a state or a phase where you are depressed because of this guy in a relationship, which I feel many people actually deal with in relationships. Why do you think mostly people who are in relationships go through a lot of mental problems compared to those who are just single per se?
Um, there is because most people who are in these relationships, they lack self-awareness. They don't
Okay.
know who they are. Failing to know oneself. For example, as humans, there are some psychological needs that we need.
Okay.
You know, for example, affection. We need affection. We need to feel loved. We need to feel like someone is touching me.
Yes.
But if you don't have that awareness within you, the same affection can lead you to having these mental health illnesses, depression, frustration, anger, or suicidal cases. You know, such kind of things can happen. Here is someone who is entering into a relationship without knowing themselves. They enter into a relationship, their partner is not treating them nicely. What do? They always say, "No, I'm sorry, my partner," even when they know to say they are not wrong. They keep on doing it. Their
Mm-hmm.
partner is abusing, you know, and they just get too attached to someone, you know. They value the relationship more than they value themselves. They
Mm.
love their partner more than they love themselves. Lack of self-awareness has led a lot of people to having these mental health illnesses once they break up. So people
Mm-hmm.
who wealthy, who knows how much they value, how much, you know, they love themselves so much, they have this awareness. The
Yeah,
partner can leave. They say, okay, he has left. I wasn't born with him. I'll
that's true.
move on, find someone else. Yeah. So if at all couples can come to have this awareness within themselves, they try to rebrand themselves, having value, you know, one being able to have value within themselves. I think a lot of people can be affected, more especially, you know, having a mental health out of relationship failure. We can run away from such kind of mental illness.
Okay, that's interesting. Then another thing also I wanted to ask you is concerning, that people who say, no, I have suicidal thoughts.
Mhm.
These suicidal thoughts, how can you explain them? How do they come about?
Alright. So when one is having suicidal thoughts, they don't just come like, you know, today I'm just home, I want to kill myself.
Mm-hmm.
No. Mental health illnesses cause people to start thinking in those ways. You know, when it comes to psychology, there are three parts which are involved,
Mm-hmm.
like the emotions, the mind, and the behavior. So anything which affects the mind of someone, it will affect the feelings of someone, it will also affect the behavior. So this is
Mm-hmm.
someone who received a heartbreak message. Once they've received that message, it goes to their thoughts. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I should have done this. Maybe I won't find another partner. Maybe I'm not lovable. Maybe I'm ugly. Such kind of thoughts, you know, will make someone to start condemning themselves, to start judging themselves that they are bad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then the emotions of someone, one will become sad, one will become angry. You know, these two, they will be affected. Then once there's intense, you know, those negative thoughts,
Yeah.
when there's intense sadness or intense anxieties, you know, what will be shown now is the behavior. What kind of behavior? Someone will start now thinking, let me just kill myself. And
Oh,
then
yeah.
when there's behavior part, that's when you see someone getting, they start cutting themselves, razor blade. Then if this thing persists for a long period of time without being addressed, this is why people kill themselves. You know, it's psychology, the mind, the feelings of someone or the emotions. Then once these two are affected, what will be shown now is the behavior.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So these thoughts, when you recognize them, you have to seek a therapist immediately, not so.
Exactly. You know,
And
if
how long does
someone is having negative
the process
uh,
take?
Right. So a normal session is only 45 minutes. So when a client comes during the first session, we normally ask some psychological assessment questions. These questions, we want to know how the problem started in this client. We also want to know how this client has been affected, like their thoughts, their emotions, their social life, maybe their spirituality, how all
Yes.
these parts have been affected. Then we also want to formulate a goal with this client because it is this goal which will help us with these with the sessions which we're going to have. For example, we'll give this client maybe 3 months or maybe a month or 6 months. depending with the symptoms which one has portrayed and how severe, the mental illness is. Like those people who maybe are affected for maybe for 3 weeks or maybe just a month, who can only give them maybe a month, they can be able to heal. But this is someone who is
Mm-hmm.
having anxiety, maybe there's
Yes.
also some problems of maybe alcohol addiction, there's maybe sex addiction, all these things if they're in one person. We can give this client maybe 3 or 6 months so that they can be able to heal with their mental health illness.
Mm-hmm. Then the information that's given to you, like let's say I'm the client and I come to you with my problem, is that information safe or it can be given out by you?
All right. So mostly when a client comes to us,
Mm-hmm.
we mention the issue of confidentiality. So we
Okay.
practice confidentiality between a client and the therapist. We only bleach the confidentiality if there is a threat of death. In this case, suicide. We've tried to talk to these clients, then they don't want to listen. So we
Okay.
bleach the confidentiality part. But during the first session, we tell this client, we inform them to say, we practice confidentiality, but we only, so that this client should have that awareness, say, if at all these things exist,
Yes.
my therapist is going to bleach the confidentiality. Because if at all I don't bleach, it will still come back to me. You know, you are the one giving this person therapy. Why did this person kill himself? You see. So if there is
Mm-hmm.
that I'm supposed to let my team members, I just don't tell anyone. No, I tell my other team members. Then we are going to sit, you know, as professionals. We discuss how are we going to help this person. If
Yeah.
at all there is need for us to involve maybe one of the family members, like the parents, in case maybe someone wants to abort. What if she aborts the pregnancy? Then she ends up dying in the process. Then
Oh
me
yeah.
as a therapist. So we are going to tell this, say, in some cases, we can even try to involve one of your family members whom you are comfortable with. Yeah. Otherwise, we don't bleach the confidentiality.
So
If
okay.
one does so, the client is supposed to sue them.
Oh, okay. So let's say in an extreme case of where I feel guilty and depressed because I did something very terrible. Say I killed somebody, then I come
Yeah.
to you and I disclose that I killed ABCD. Are you at liberty to inform the police, or you have to keep that confidentiality to you and your client?
On that one, I have to keep the confidentiality because my client's safety comes first.
Oh, okay.
My client's safety comes first. One can kill someone, I'll keep that confidentiality. I'll start talking to this client. This is how it happens.
Yes.
I'll start talking to the client so that they can try to cool down, they can start now to cope with the environment. Then I'll now bring in the challenging skills. So it is these challenging skills which will make this client to open up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Not that I'll even tell them, no, but the challenging skills. So when you look at, what you did, do you think you did something right? No, I didn't. So by you keeping quiet, do you think you're doing the right thing? No. What are you supposed to do? I'm supposed to tell them, but I'll get jailed for it. Okay. So what if maybe you just start living like this? Then those people look at the family members, they are suffering. So one will
Mm-hmm.
be able to bring one to a point whereby they will be able to see the mistake which they made, and so that they can now
Mm-hmm.
fence the consequences. When one has admitted the mistake, even the kind of judgment which is passed, it's very good. Because
Yeah.
in one hour, we try to help this client. What if you don't open up? Then they just come to discover that it's you. Look at the kind of judgment which is going to be passed.
Oh
So
yes.
a client is able to make a firm decision because of the skills which we are able to bring in.
Okay. So going back to suicide, because we've seen an increase in that. So let's say this person finally decides to end their life. Say this is how I go. and they die. So, us who remain, how should we see those people? Should we see them as cowards? Should we see them as brave people? How should we look at them?
All right. So when it comes to people who die by suicide, we shouldn't be condemning them.
Okay.
Those are very good. And when it comes to suicide, there are two types.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There are those people who kill themselves because of a mental health illness, and
Yeah.
those people who kill themselves because they killed their wife with a gun, they are
Yeah.
scared, then they decide to killing themselves. So
Yes.
with those people, won't tackle them. That's their own judgment. They've judged themselves. So
Mm-hmm.
for these good people who are facing these mental health illnesses, they feel like there's no way out there. They feel like they are not being heard. Then they only see the reason why, they can maybe um the only way out is to kill themselves. These are the people I'll talk about. You know, people
Mm-hmm.
who kill by suicide, they are not bad people, very good people.
Yeah.
Try to ask of them, they can say, I want to kill myself. You know, if you ask them deeper, you discover to say they've got more reasons to live. It's only that they feel like everything has been shattered. There's no way out. Yeah. So the society shouldn't be condemning such people, because condemning such people won't do us more good. It will make a lot of people to be killing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so we keep on condemning these people. We keep on saying no when someone kills themselves, then maybe the legacy which they leave maybe to the family members becomes so destroyed. Don't marry in that family. There's a spirit of suicide. Once you get attached to that family, this spirit of suicide will follow you.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine
Yeah,
members are feeling
that's true.
when someone has died by killing themselves. The parents, the family gets affected more by the same thing. And as the society, we need to be very careful with the messages which we are spreading to these people. Because, we can be the five of us, maybe one of our friends can kill themselves. Amongst us, it could be there's one who is planning to do that. So, depending with the approach, it can trigger someone to do it. This is
Mm-hmm.
like in families, no, but whatever can suicide, the other one died by suicide, the other one, it's a family, the one has spy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've seen that.
The approach, the way you talk to these people, it's not nice. So we need to break these societal myths or taboos, by society. And the other thing which people kill themselves need to know is that, quite right, they feel like, there's no way out. They feel not to be loved. They feel if I die, I'm better off. You know, what
Yes.
they don't know is that most people who suffer, they are those people who are left behind. They'll
Yeah.
suffer with the guilt for the rest of their life. Maybe I'm the one who contributed. Maybe I should have done this for this person not to die. So for them, they think like it's over. But no, it's not over, because they left these people with big, big mental illnesses which needs to be sorted out. If at all they don't get sorted out, they also follow. I'm sure you've heard like, no, when the mother discovers that man has mangirira kuselu, the mother also collapses. She
Yes.
dies.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes, they need to uh, think for other family members. Okay, I hate myself. I feel like I want to die, but how will my parents take this?
Oh, yes.
Mm.
Okay. Then, regarding, let's say, here's a person who's mentally healthy. Do they need
Mhm.
professional just support, or them they don't need any therapy or counseling?
For someone who is having good mental health,
Who is okay? Like, is counseling or therapy only for people who are healthy, who are not healthy, or it's for both parties?
I didn't get the question nicely.
Okay, so my question is, Counseling, is it only for people who have mental health problems, or even if you are okay, you can still go see a therapist?
Okay, yeah, that's a very good question.
Mm-hmm.
It's the awareness to raise in people out there.
Okay.
Many people, they always think, you just need to visit a hospital when you're sick, or you need to visit a therapist or a counselor when you're sick or having a mental health illness.
Mm-hmm.
No, you know, even when one's mental health is very healthy, one still needs to visit the hospital. You can feel like you are very fine, but just talking to a therapist will even add up to
Mm.
your mental health,
Okay.
because they are trained. There's a skill like self-awareness, there's a skill like mindfulness.
Yes.
One can have mental health, but once they approach us, we'll be able to teach them mental health. For example, the connection between the mental health and plants. One can be able to learn something, how they can connect their mental health, how they can connect to plants, and mindfulness. They try to bond in so that even when in future they are faced with maybe any challenge, they can be able to face it with resilience, they can be able to face it with mindfulness and self awareness. So each
Mm-hmm.
and every person is welcome to accessing these services, whether someone is having a mental health illness, whether they are not having a mental health illness, because these services, they are meant for everyone, including doctors. One would say, no, me, I'm a doctor. No, no, no.
Yes.
Any person gets affected by these mental health illnesses. Even
So,
those people in top positions, they get affected,
so even you guys also get
including
affected.
even me too. I
Yeah.
get affected by these mental health illnesses. It's just the same as saying, just because I'm a doctor, I can't get sick. We've seen doctors dying.
Yeah. That's true.
Applies to health. Even me, I've got somewhere where I need to go. I'm having this quite alright. I'm having, these skills within me. But
Yeah.
there are times I also need to receive therapy from someone else, because they say even you can be a doctor, you can't treat yourself. You need someone
Yeah.
else to treat you.
That's
I
true.
can be a therapist. I have all these skills, but there is just that part where I need someone to listen to me. So even those people, they can say, no, me, I've got all the skills within me, but they need to come to us. We'll be more than glad to receiving them. Sometimes they can't even be given this therapy. Even just coming to say, hi, hello, therapist, I love your work. By so doing, they are building more of their mental health to becoming more healthy, and their personal growth, you know, will be more healthy.
Yeah. You do have a point. So, lastly, where exactly can they find you and find your organization if they need help? How can they contact you?
Right. They can find us. We've got a Facebook page, Heart and Soul Transformational Therapy Center, Heart and Soul Transformational Therapy Center, or they can reach us on 0964 94 15 90, 0964 94 15 90, or they can visit our offices in Lusaka West, off Kasope Road, Gopnik Hospital. We have our offices there. Then we also have another center at Unza, Unza, the university, even in
Mm-hmm.
Kamala South, and um, in Luansha, if at all. There are those people who would want to seek our services from Luansha, including in Mufulila at Zihan Polytech University. We also have some office that side.
Nice. Do you do online therapy as well?
Yes, we do online and physical therapy. It
Is
depends with what the client needs.
is one better than the other, or they're equally the same?
They are just the same. It's only that with online therapy, for example, if maybe someone is crying,
Yes.
the issue of maybe just touching maybe the hands or holding the shoulders, it's not there, but it's just one and the same thing. One is able to cope with online therapy, with physical therapy, all these two, they're just okay. It depends with what a client needs. There are those ones who would want maybe to see a therapist face to face.
Yes.
So they will go for physical, but if at all maybe one is occupied with school, maybe one is not in Zambia, one is out of Lusaka, and then they say, no, me, I just want, Madam Covenant or Therapist Covenant to just talk to me, not any other therapist. I give
Mm-hmm.
online therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, we have counselors, we have nurses, we have doctors. So we have these people to talk to, but someone will just say, no, I just need her.
Yeah.
People are that we can do online therapy.
Okay. All right. No, thank you very much for your time. I appreciate the knowledge you've given us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate. Looking forward to another time when you give me
Definitely.
such kind of.
Definitely. So we hear from the reviews and we can tackle one specific, maybe depression or anxiety, then we can break it down from there.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank
Appreciate.
you.
I know you told your friend you're not okay. And tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.